because things are an absolute mess down here at Kello. It's a really, really kind of unfortunate. We have, and I don't want to elevate this above what's going on with flooding around the state in Minnesota and Iowa, because we have people whose homes are literally underwater, and my heart goes out to them. And seriously, I mean, I've been praying for folks that are impacted by this. But even here in Sioux Falls, to give you an example, our basement, you may not realize the Kello Radio building, it's got an upper level and then quite a large basement, and it's fairly deep. The There's a space between our building and the El Raya Shrine, and we have water that came in through that area, and we received actually quite a little bit of water in our basement level. My office is in the basement, so on. My office wasn't affected, but a large part of our basement, we have additional studios down there, production studios, offices, folks who deal with commercials and production. They're all downstairs. Well, it's the amount of water that we're seeing down there. It's still growing. I mean, I see spots on the carpet that were wet yesterday, and there would be, a spot a couple of feet across, and now those have almost doubled in size. So downstairs, normally I do this in my office, but downstairs, ooh, man, the amount of moisture in the air, it's humid as can be down there because of all the moisture. And then the cleanup, I mean, again, company dealing with the cleanup of all of that. And again, I'm not trying to, that is just a drop in the bucket compared to what a lot of homeowners and businesses are seeing as you get down into extreme southeast South Dakota and into Iowa and Minnesota. So really, I can't imagine how devastating this is going to be. I was talking to our news director, Tom Rooney, who knows people from that area, and was talking about how they and their family had been impacted and what he was seeing. And it's really, really something for a lot of folks. So please know that many of us are praying for you, and I will be on top of any relief efforts that are out there. I want to tell you about relief efforts. If you're in a situation like me where unaffected by these floodwaters and whatnot, and you want to do what you can to help others, I think this will be a great opportunity to do those kinds of things. But I am running late here, and I am just again, I didn't want to be down normally I do this from my office each day. I am in the Kello Producers Studio today. For those of you who listen to the show, my producer John sits here. Actually, he faces the other direction. You can see back here, that's the Kello AM studio. That's where you're used to seeing me, is over here on the other side of the glass. John sits over here, and he's got a computer and whatnot. You can see just portions of it. But I didn't want Bill Zortman thinking I'm staring at him while he's doing his show. So facing the other direction. But so I'm a little bit really the flooding and the stories as you're visiting. I'm sure it's probably the same thing for you as you're visiting with people that and things that they're seeing. I wanted to share some of the comments that I had this morning on Facebook, because we were talking about the Surgeon General, Vivek Murthy, yesterday was on CBS Mornings talking about gun violence and saying it's a public health crisis. Gun violence has become a public health crisis, he told CBS. And so he wants to ban automatic rifles. You understand how crazy that sounds? Seriously? They're already banned. I mean, you and I cannot go in and buy automatic rifles. It's been really kind of disturbing to watch how the media now is using the word automatic when they mean what they mean is semi-automatic, because you and I cannot just walk in and buy an automatic rifle. You've got to, I mean, only those with a federal firearms license can do that. There are very specific rules about owning automatic weapons and so on. So the media, in doing what the media always does, responding then to the terminology that they use is meant to be deceptive, misleading. That's all by design. And so he was on CBS Mornings talking about this. So he's calling on the U.S. to ban automatic rifles, introduce universal background checks then on those who want to purchase a gun, wants to regulate the industry. Yeah, that's just what we need. More government regulation, because the government's the one thing that's working, right? Oh, it's working so great. It's working for all of us. Yeah, give me a break. Also, he wants to penalize people who fail to safely store their weapons. And he's saying this is because all of this gun violence that we're seeing. And, I use the analogy, we're dealing with a lot of flooding right now. We've got roads that are, underwater in some areas, barricades that are up that are telling people do not travel on the roads. So you have signs up saying road closed, and people just go around the barricades and they drive through the water and anyway, because they want to see what's going on, or maybe they have legitimate reason to get somewhere. They do not have legitimate reason then to cross a barricade on roads. So he says, people who fail to safely store their weapons, that is not where the violence is coming from. I mean, people who, and again, if somebody doesn't store their weapons safely, it results in accidents. You can't stop people from being reckless, was the point I was trying to make about the road closures. You cannot stop people from being reckless. Some people are, but the overwhelming majority are not, and that is not where the gun violence is coming from. So this is, there are a lot of things that I think that are happening as to why the Surgeon General, who had initially promised, he had no interest in guns or gun regulation, and during his confirmation hearings, and now here's the Surgeon General talking about having to take, declaring gun violence a public health crisis, which gives the government incredibly broad powers. When you start talking about, declaring these kinds of, these declarations come with some authority, and that's why he's doing it. At least I think that's why he's doing it. There's no question that gun violence is an issue. I don't think there's any easy solution to this. In fact, because there are a lot of problems surrounding this. Mental health, we've talked about the mental health crisis in our country that's been ongoing for years. So you see that's certainly a part of this. People who get access to a gun, who should never have access to a gun, and then you find out it was a family member who, may have even bought the gun for them and so on. So we have just a lot of issues here. But coming out and saying, these kind of gun violence is a public health crisis, and approaching it with, banning certain weapons and so on, it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. At best, it's a Band-Aid kind of solution. And I think typically that's what we see from the left. So I've got a lot of great comments on the Facebook page. I posted this question earlier this morning, and there were quite a number of responses from people. So I wanted to share some of those with you. I do have a no, I guess I don't. I thought I had a couple of emails that I wanted to share in regard to this. And I had shared these actually during the program, so I don't want to rehash them now after the fact, but I know some of you don't have a chance to listen. Scott said, a Surgeon General warning label is a complete waste of time and money. It will have zero impact on the use of a firearm in an illegal manner. Of course, he's absolutely right. John said, remember that these ideas come from folks who think the AR on an AR-15 stands for assault rifle, which of course it doesn't. So I think that's all. That's all of the emails that I had received. But again, a number of folks are responding on Facebook, so you can join the conversation there. I've got a link in my YouTube page. If you're on Facebook and you'd like to follow me there, I hope you will. I would appreciate it. So coming up tomorrow on the Greg Belfrage Show, Sheriff Mike Milstead is going to join me. And he and I have been talking here the last couple of weeks and just haven't been able to hook up. And he is involved with the National Sheriff's Association. And the president released a statement in response to the president's executive order about securing the border. You know, the border, I think, is one of the biggest issues that we talk about on my show. In fact, we covered it this morning. It's likely to be a big issue during the debate coming up tomorrow night. So I'm curious to talk to Sheriff Milstead, because the feeling of the National Sheriff's Association is what the president is doing. It's just too little, it's too late. Too little and too late. And you know, now that we've actually have seen a couple of weeks since this is, the president did this, was early this month. So it's been a couple of weeks. What changes have we seen? What change have we seen in response to what's going on the border? None. We haven't seen any change whatsoever. And I think that that's what this was designed to do, was to show that, oh, we're out there, we're doing something, look at us, we're taking some action, and you see nothing. Nothing has changed. So it's a bit of, it'll be interesting to talk to Sheriff Milstead, because Sheriff Milstead is in conversation a lot with these sheriffs throughout the country. In fact, he's put us in touch with them before to talk about the issue. And I really continue to believe what President Joe Biden and the Democrats have done to the borders of this country is just absolutely incredible. And, you know, I wonder privately, I've thought to myself, you know, is the country ever going to be able to recover from this? Even if Joe Biden loses the election, and let's say we get Republicans then that are in charge, and then possibly even subsequent administrations beyond a Donald Trump administration, will they really be able to ever fix the damage that's been done? Or is it lasting kind of damage? Only time will tell. I certainly don't have the answer to it, but these are the kinds of things I think about. Very, very concerning. So I'm looking forward to visiting with Sheriff Mike Milstead. He will be on the program coming up tomorrow at 8. So just after 8 a.m. tomorrow, we'll be joined by Sheriff Mike Milstead to talk about that issue. Also, it'll be interesting to get his thoughts as we're talking about gun violence. And I'll see what else is on his mind, what he's seeing locally as well. So that'll be coming up tomorrow, 8:05 on the Greg Belfrage Show. And I'm going to run. Thank you so much for letting me join you. I very much appreciate it. Thanks to those of you who are following me and the Greg Belfrage Show on YouTube. Please give me a thumbs up on any of the programs that you wind up watching. It's very much appreciated, and it makes a difference. Got to get those thumbs up in order to start getting people to see the programs. I don't know what happened yesterday, but there was just an insane number, in my opinion. Normally, I get, maybe couple of dozen people that wind up watching, which I would expect. I'm new to YouTube. These are new things that I'm trying to do a long time on the radio, but new things on YouTube. When it comes to being on YouTube, it's new territory to me. I don't know my way around YouTube very well. You notice I'm in horizontal mode today. Yeah, it was right in front of my face and I couldn't see it yesterday. So I shot in vertical mode, having my phone, like this instead of horizontal. That's because I just don't know my way around YouTube. But I'm learning. And I want to thank you for being here. But I really need your help spreading the word. I need you hitting the like button, even on Facebook. I have a lot of people who comment on my Facebook page. They don't hit the like button. They don't like, so I will see a post that has maybe 50 responses, which is a pretty healthy response level. Every now and a blue moon, I get, responses that eclipse that. But, I'll see 50 responses and 2 people who hit the like button. So it's really on social media. Obviously, you're a user of social media. It's really, really important that you hit that like button, that you hit like and especially if you're bothering to comment on it, please take the additional seconds, because that's all it is. Take the additional seconds to hit the like button and let other people see it. And I think I wonder if the problem is that people are just afraid that their friends and neighbors and family and whatnot are going to see what they're liking. And so they'll comment, but not necessarily like, I wonder if that's part of what's fueling that. Or people just getting tired of being asked to hit the like button. I'm going to ask you repeatedly, please, please, please hit that like button. Otherwise I'm going to get to a point, I'll let this play out. We'll continue. My thought is at least a year. Let's go at least until next summer. Let's see how it's faring. And if after a year I still am not getting any significant traction, then I may just say, okay, it's because this stuff takes effort. It takes me additional time, additional effort to set up the camera in the studio during the 6 a.m. hour. Now, I'm already on the air, but setting up the camera, getting that all ready, getting YouTube ready, conversing with those folks during the 6 a.m. hour of my live show, doing this with you now, this stuff all takes up time. And there's other work that I could be doing for my employer. Speaking of that, I should probably get to it. Thank you so much for letting me join you. And again, please hit the like button. Makes a big, big difference. It's great to have you along. I appreciate it very much. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. So long until then, and may God bless.